So we are live with some Pokemon Café ReMix. For those of you unfamiliar, this is a puzzle game made by the same company as Pokemon Coliseum and Gale of Darkness. Obviously a bit of a different genre. I've been playing it a little bit off stream, and I haven't really been able to stream it because, as you can see in the top left corner, there is a small stamina bar, only worth 5. However, thanks to a recent event, we are going to be able to claim significantly more and be able to play for a little bit. Otherwise, there wouldn't be enough content to run the stream. So the way this works is we have a limited number of turns, as you can see in the top middle of the game. And then we have to reach all of the objectives set out over on the left. So we can use Eevee and try to clear through these. As you can see, my Eevee has just unlocked its special skill, but we are going to wait a little bit before activating it, as these popcorn icons require us to hit them consecutively, or they will not get cleared. So let's start by getting rid of this. Then Eevee is going to be up next and clearing out the rest of the kernels. If you take 2 skills, you are able to combine them to get a bigger radius. And then I didn't realize there were more of the bricks, or I should say sugar cubes, in Eevee's, or inside of those. So now we need to clear that. Eevee is able to do it in just 1 hit. However, thanks to me using Eevee, as long as I'm using the Eevee icon, it goes away in 1. So now we need to figure out how to get the milk into the cans. I think Beware is probably going to be the best one for pushing things around. But that was completely unsuccessful. So we are probably going to end up failing the order. Oh, and welcome Paco and Carrot. I wanted to do a little bit with the hair, since I figured it wasn't blended enough with the 2 colors. I am still considering taking the redesign further, to more closely resemble the red and blue of Porygon, instead of these off shades I have been using. Now, let's see how we are going to try to get all of these milk cans over to there. I don't think I have a good plan for this. Maybe I can loop into here and kind of scoop them out. Okay, that actually is working, it looks like. So push it away and then try to loop it over to the milk. This is our final turn. Our last chance to try to get them together. And we did it. However, there is a 3-star option we are not going to have the moves to go for. Oh, and welcome Tomato. I am doing pretty well. I have been spending some time over the last couple days. As you can see, I updated the model a little bit. But I'm also working on my audio settings. I have gotten a ton of comments on the recent Pokemon videos about my voice being annoying. So I am trying my best to handle it on the softer side as best as I can. Obviously, I also need to work on my actual speech, but 1 step at a time. I can definitely agree with Carrot that there is a little bit of Miku-ness in the design. So these chocolate bars are actually a pretty annoying gimmick, unless you have a Pokemon capable of clearing them naturally, as they otherwise require 5 non-consecutive 5 hits to do. And then you can see the honey also spreads every single turn if you don't deal with it. However, I missed there and don't clear much out at all. So we will work on that. By linking a ton of the Togepi together, we should be able to unlock another one of these, and we can clear out some of the chocolate. And then we keep it up. We're going to need 2 more of these, or we can use the megaphones as well to clear it automatically. And the benefit of clearing it that way is that these will stick around. Activate the effect, and now Bulbasaur is up to try clearing out this. And all we need to do is finish the chocolate bar, and we get to a 3-star order. Draco, if you go to my most recent video, you'll notice there are actually almost no comments that aren't about the voice. I got a couple from people who have been following the channel, but I don't think there was anyone I didn't recognize who wasn't leaving feedback on that specifically. Alright, so looking at the stage, I think the olives are definitely the more important piece of our puzzle here. Additionally, Steenie is going to be able to shoot upwards with its special skill, which can help with getting the vegetables from the crate. Alright, so why Hatsune Miku? It is only somewhat intentional. It isn't meant to be a one-to-one copycat. However, you can see it with the eyeballs and little star icon. I've been going for a 2-tone character design for a while. And editing the hair is basically just the next step in that. Also, thank you for the donation. I'm always bad at responding to it, but I do really appreciate it. I just never know what to actually say. And we are down to the final 3 moves. But I think we are going to be able to do it pretty easily here. Our skill is going to clear out both the olive and the vegetable crate, so we are able to focus on just scoring points. And a big combo is easily worth over the amount we need. And then I kind of forgot that I also changed the actual outfit. That was just because the one I had was, what's the right word? I had went in and edited the color from pink to blue, or the other way around. And you could really tell there was no shading or something. So I went with one of the default options here. And like Tomato says, the hoodie looked really comfortable. And I thought it would fit with a casual Pokemon themed stream. I might switch between the outfits depending on the occasion. But the hoodie seems pretty relaxed for a simple stream like this one. So, Starly has a special skill which turns a ton of things into megaphones and then immediately sets them off. Unfortunately, all the megaphones were pointing right this time. So, we aren't able to actually get what we are looking for out of them. And then, Wobbuffet clearing out the kernels here. But we still have a long way to go. By combining the two skills together, we are able to increase the area of effect, and then hopefully the megaphones will do a little bit better at hitting the target this time. Alright, and we are making sporadic progress. Also, I don't even remember what these ones are, but like the honey, they are able to spread. So I need to be careful about that. I don't even know. Oh, the other one's still locked in there. So what we're going to need to do is get a megaphone to clear this out for us. Fortunately, we get one pointing up, and all we need now is the kernel. Megaphone should do this. Definitely aren't going to be able to get the we aren't going to be able to get the 3-star for sure. Maybe, if we're lucky, we can get a 2-star by combining all these Starlies together, hitting a bunch of gimmicks, and getting 28,000. And there was a 40,000 hit. Good enough for me. Especially, given Jigglypuff is already a character we've unlocked. And that is a mechanic we have not really explained quite yet. So, as you can see on this screen, Jigglypuff and Munchlax are currently rewarding milestone cookies, whereas Rowlet has a Rowlet-shaped one. Basically, once you unlock a character, they will give you their own shaped cookies. Once you manage to find 3 of them, you're able to increase the level cap from 5 to 10. And then you can do it again with 10 cookies for level 10 to 15 or 15 to 20. And then once you have all 23 of a given Pokemon's cookie, they give you generic ones, which can be subbed in at a 10, 20, or 30 to 1 ratio, depending on the current level. It goes up as level cap increases. Alright, let's see this. We obviously want something with blue, but let's go ahead and catch up on the chat. Paco mentions monotone voices, and I was actually thinking that might have been the issue I was having, was that I was too monotone. So kind of the opposite of what you were saying. A couple of weeks ago, I did start trying to de-YouTubeify my voice. Like right now, I'm speaking pretty loudly and with my microphone turned down a little bit, so I'm not constantly peaking. But when I tried to talk a little bit more normally, it ended up being kind of this nasally sound. And I think that is what was making people annoyed. So if I go back to projecting my voice a little bit louder, nasally, like through the nose. So I'm trying to go back to projecting. Paco, no, I did not actually manage to hit King of Games. Lizard Soldier was too powerful, and I've taken it as a sign that I am simply not good enough at the game. There are just no data points suggesting I would ever be able to hit King of Games. So in terms of this game, I'm actually not sure if I'd be able to recommend it. Actually, no, I would. As long as you aren't going to take it too seriously. This is one of those types of games where it's really easy to feel like you constantly have to be checking in and spending your stamina. The standard duelists over in Duel Links don't really give me that feeling because it's not much of anything in the actual game. Whereas with this one, there's not really anything else to do outside of spending the stamina. And with only 5 as a max, it's a little bit awkward, for sure. This puzzle is not going very well. Squirtle's effect just isn't quite big enough for me to get into the clears that I was looking for. We can go like this and then try to bring this down, but then the Chimchar gets in the way. So we have to clear this, but now the Beware is taking its same place. Alright, so this is our final shot. Hopefully the tomato is able to fall in. And we managed to complete the order, though only at 1 star. The difference between the stars are the number of cookies you receive. So since I only got a 1 star, I only get 1 mallet cookie instead of 3. So it's hard to so it takes longer to level them up. Tomato. I have heard about the TCG Pocket back in the previous Nintendo Direct. Do we have an actual release date? Because I definitely will play it. And I'm hoping I didn't already miss the initial unlock. Alright, so whenever it comes out, I will definitely be playing it. I did have a PTCGO account, and I played live for a few months when that released as well. Something a little bit more casual will be right up my alley, I think. So, Meowth skill. We'll use it to clear the sugar cubes, which are otherwise a little bit more problematic. And then Meowth itself is able to clear out the chestnuts and the mayonnaise. What are we even making? It's got canned fruit, chestnuts, sugar, and mayonnaise. That does not sound appetizing at all to me. But in the world of Café ReMix, anything is possible. And I missed the fruit. That is a pretty big deal. As now, it's going to cost me several turns to fix the mistake. Hopefully we are able to clear both of these at the same time. And we get 2 turns to try to get a 2nd star on this. Oh, there is absolutely no shot I'm doing any of this. We'll bring up the Meowth as far as we can. But it is mostly about hoping that clearing all the gimmicks here will give us 8,000 points. But we don't get there. So we'll have to take another 1 star finish. So, like I was saying at the start of the stream, there is only a max stamina of 5. So, what I'm able to do, though, is this Ogrepon event. Rank 100 is the max, and as you can see, I've been playing it and claimed a bunch of the rewards. But what I'm going to do now is I don't really care about anything else they are offering. So I'm going to grab a couple of stamina at a time and just continue playing through the main orders. Order number 301. And having something that can actually deal with the milk is going to be huge. You saw in the previous level when I didn't have anything that was able to deal with it, how annoying it actually was. But then I look at this level design, and it seems like it might not actually make all that much of a difference, as I'm supposed to be clearing that cheese. Hopefully the skill is able to reach, so we're able to go here. And then the milk will start falling. Wait. Okay, so what I need to do actually is grab the milk and bring it down here. And then clear space in this area so the milk can fall through. And then grab it with the Curlia and bring it down over the Sobble. And now we need to clear the 3 pumpkins, which we can actually do halfway with a single skill activation. And then Curlia will be able to do it with their own skill. And now all we need to do is bring the milk. And it is done. A 3-star order after several series of 1-star mistakes. Unfortunately, this one is only going to be giving us the milestone cookies. Alright, and then now we have Gengar. As you can see, instead of cookies, we have a heart level. And this is basically just saying we actually haven't unlocked Gengar yet. So in order to do it, we need to wait for Gengar to show up and fill up the heart bar. Just like the cookies, you're able to get 1 to 3 depending on your score. And that means Gengar needs to show up 9 times, assuming you get a perfect 3 stars every single time. And unfortunately, that isn't super realistic for me. And we are going to go with Mew for this one. And it seems a little bit tough, so I'm actually going to use one of these limited use items. So the way Mew's special ability works is that these canned marshmallows, you're only able to clear them while they are open. But if Mew goes over a closed one, they are able to get the effect anyway. But for now, let's try focusing on building up Mew's special skill by comboing as many Pokemon as we're able to get our hands on. Doing the leader Pokemon does provide double the points towards our skill activation. So we are going to go like this. And then if you take 2 Mew skills and combine it, they will clear everything on the board. Except for these gimmicks, they're only able to advance it by 1 stage. I'm not sure if I would actually describe this model as particularly goth looking. Though I did actually unlock Gothorvita earlier today. And then Paco with a very true statement. I'm basically playing machines right now. Though I'm trying to think what would be the most accurate skill to describe the game currently going on. Let's use this megaphone. A lucky downwards facing one allows us to make good progress. And in order to clear out the bubbles, we're going to use Sobble, but then we are going to miss pretty badly. So let's grab Mew and at least try to clear out the ones we can. Unfortunately, with only one move left, and one of them still in the olive oil, we are not able to finish out the job. We needed just one more turn, and we would have been able to get the 3-star. So then, apart from the visits, something you may have noticed is that Gengar is over here in the additional order slot. If you are willing to spend the in-game currency, you are able to speed up your unlocks by getting a second visit in a row. However, these acorns are also how you raise a Pokemon's level cap. So, as an example, this Rabombi, it requires 200 acorns to go to level 10. Or rather to unlock the ability to earn the experience points until you reach level 10. And then at level 10, it's 8,000, and then 1,800 at 15. And then the acorns are also how you use the game's gacha system, which unfortunately is incredibly expensive. It is 3,000 gems for a single roll. Or if you want to do a 10 pull, 30,000. And then in order to actually guarantee you get a Pokemon you are looking for, it requires 400,000 acorns for a single guaranteed pull. As you can see, I'm at 53,000 right now. And that is probably my highest total ever. They do not let you pull in the gacha very much in this game. I'm able to use the Minccino. And a Minccino skill is going to be good enough to clear the chocolate, so this is fine. The chocolate is definitely the most difficult of the gimmicks in here, since it requires 5 hits. But if we just build up a skill over on the right side, we will be able to clear it. So I'm going to start with the left side to get points into the skill gauge. And then we move over to here, as the skills always drop around where you did your last turn. So we move Minccino carefully, and there we go. Every single chocolate bar is immediately cleared. Then we can come down to the I want to say it's molasses, but I know it's not. And try to clear all of those out. And that just leaves the 2 stuck in the gummies. Unfortunately, we need to use the skill to clear the gummy. But then Cleffa is able to finish out the 1-star. And we still have 6 moves to go. Oh, wait, did I not say Minccino? Now I'm confused. I think there's no H, so it should be Minccino. But the way the comment sounds, it's like, are you saying I said the first half wrong as well? So, normally the whipped cream is going to require 3 combos, but Mincino is equipped with it as a specialty, so it clears it relatively quickly. But we still need to score 30,000 points. Having the Buizel is good enough. Oh, and I'm seeing the chat on the screen here. Could use a little bit of extension. And now we should be able to get 3 cleanly into the frame. This is the first time I've edited the mobile setup in quite a while. The last time I was playing a mobile game on stream was probably back in the Cross Duel days. So there's this event going on that started today to unlock some extra acorns and a special hat for the Eevee. And we just finished the first part. So now we need to wait until we're able to find some olive oil. I probably should have been looking at this a little bit earlier. Oh, and we'll get some tarts. So that's actually something I haven't explained yet for anyone who hasn't previously played the game. So the tarts are what you use to level up. To go from level 1 to 5, all you need is a single of the medium tarts. Oh, congratulations, SG. I knew you could do it. I believed in you. Oh, Charmander's gimmicks actually would have been pretty useful in some of those earlier stages. I don't know if the specialty matched or not, but I'm starting to think maybe I was supposed to use him. So I was saying you need just one of the mediums to go from level 5 up to, or from level 1 to level 5. Then, unfortunately, I don't have anyone at level 5. I do. To go from level 5 to 10, you are going to need 2 of these medium ones, or large ones, and then 5 smalls. Still not a big investment. However, once you get past this point, level 10 to 15 is when the extra large ones come in. Also, I think it's very annoying that they chose to name them medium, large, and extra large instead of small, medium, and large. Especially since the tarts look a lot like cupcakes, and a small cupcake definitely makes sense. And then, just as an example to finish it out, level 10 to 15 requires 5 of the extra larges, and then 2 smalls, and then they're really inconvenient, leaving you with 40 left, which is either 1 round of training, but realistically, I don't think it's really that important, and I'm fine using the tarts. They give you plenty of these. Especially as a new player, you are very much supposed to be using them instead of hoarding them. So, Pago and Draco, if you don't remember, or if you weren't here for the last stream, SG actually did specifically ask how to fail the interview. I don't know if it's an extended bit where they actually were trying to get the job. Or if they were just, like, being forced to apply there. So I don't know if failing was actually their intention, but that is at least what they have indicated previously. Alright, so popcorn. As long as we're able to deal with the popcorn successfully, I think we would be fine. But it is saying we might not have anyone who actually does that on our staff. Oh wait, but Executor is right here. but for some reason was not recommended. We are going to go with Exeggutor for this one. So, oh, I accidentally grabbed a bunch of Celebi. But that is fine. We just bring the Exeggutor over, clear a bunch of those. Let's use Celebi again to pop the remaining bubbles. Missed one, but nothing I can really do about that. We'll bring Exeggutor down into here, clear some of the things, try to push the bubble into the rest of them. That way I can bring the megaphone. And if I'm able to line it up perfectly, I would have been able to do both of them at the same time. But unfortunately, I'm not that talented. So, here we go. All that's left is to get a 40 link. However, I'm not convinced there are 40 of any of these creatures on the board. We got 36 Greninjas out of the way. And then we're going to let these Celebis fill up a little bit more by clearing out the Exeggutors. We got every single Exeggutor on the board. So now let's do the Celebis. And there we go. 45. Time for the 3-star challenge. We only get 3 moves to do it. But if we are especially lucky, we might be able to do so. It is looking pretty unlikely though. I don't see a way we are going to be able to clear all of these. Even if we pop both of the bubbles in this turn. We don't have a skill long enough to reach anything. Actually, maybe if we got exceptionally lucky, we would have been able to do it. But all we needed was one more turn. So it's certainly possible in the future. I assume at some point we are going to run out of main orders to do. And then when that happens, we can go back to the previous orders and fix it up that way. Another screen I haven't showed you all just yet is the menu development. So in order to get new Pokemon outside of the gacha system, some of them are available in this screen. And that's how you get new customers in the cafe. Unfortunately, none of these are quite ready to go. I have a level 10 Chimchar and a level 10 Audino. But Audino and Chimchar, I don't have the cookies for yet. And I don't want to spend all of the milestone cookies, as if you get a gacha Pokemon, you can only use milestone cookies to level them up. Basically, there is no way to get them to otherwise visit your cafe. So it looks like Tomato is probably going to be the most important gimmick here. Hit Rush Duelist Tomato in the game. Tomato speaking mysterious truths. Okay, so if I use the Snubble skill, I will be able to clear the 3 acorns. And then the important part left is somehow bringing all of these tomatoes to the bottom of the screen. All of them are unlocked, and Snubble is able to capture a couple of them. But then it's very easy to get stuck on the various geometry in the game. So let's move this these Minoons out of the way and try to line up the shot. And there we go. 1 star complete, 4 turns to go. Will we be able to finish it off? We'll use an increased Snubble for the bonus range, hitting all the gimmicks at once. And then it comes down to a matter of gravity. If I'm able to get the tomatoes into the hole. or I can try stealing it with the Snubble, and that should do it. One move left, but we get 3 Dragonite hearts. Unfortunately, these later ones require a ton of visits in order to unlock. I'm definitely gonna go for the Torterra here. And I don't think we have anything that can deal with the chocolate bars. Hopefully it's something a Meowth gimmick is able to do. That seems a little difficult. But with 2 gimmick activations, it won't be all too bad. Why does Torterra look adorable? I think that's basically the point of the game, is to get some cute little Pokemon in the cafe and making stuff. Tomato, I have done the gym leader teams. I need to actually make the video on it. But that is a small piece of progress, one day at a time. I'd like to clear out the acorns with Meowth, and then I can use a combined skill to increase the range on Meowth's attack. And then the cookies start to crumble. One more skill activation should be enough there. And then just around with Snubble, and we are in to the 3-star challenge. I am trying to figure out when the appropriate time to post the first version of the ROM actually is. Obviously, it needs to be far enough into development that there is an actual change going on. I want to get through. Maybe I should do the wild encounter tables first, and then focus on the more minor things as I go. As I do want to also update a lot of the random trainers in the overworld. And I would also like to learn how to do things like removing the trade requirement. I know a ton of people in the Fire Red Leaf Green hack wanted to use Pokemon like Golem or Caesar, and I want people to be able to use those too. And then I also do have a plan to relocate some key items. For example, I want to put Surf in the Shady Mahogany shop, as that would give players a reason to travel through what is otherwise a completely optional cave in the games. As people already have Surf when they head east from Mahogany. Alright, so these Cosmogs are incredibly annoying, as there's a mechanic in the game I have yet to discuss, and that is Pokemon weight. The icons do actually have a hidden weight value, which is not discussed anywhere in the game, but it essentially makes it super easy for a light Pokemon, like Cosmog, to get stuck and be unable to get through a heavier Pokemon like Stoutland. Unfortunately, I don't remember what gimmick Stoutland actually has here, so we are just kind of winging it. I should have used the combined megaphone. I just wasted a move. Okay, it looks like he has Gummy, which is convenient. I think that's definitely the hardest part in here to deal with. We are going to try Cosmog and hope it doesn't get stuck. But as you can see, I was unable to move Cosmog into the final area. That I was aiming to put it. Fortunately, it does not ruin the run, and I, managed to get the 3rd star. Executor is one of the Pokemon I need to get to level 15 for the menu development. I don't think that was all of the ones I needed. Oh, and it's already level 15 anyway. Or level 12. Maybe I did that one when yeah, it was, one of the ones I did before starting stream. But I don't think I have enough for any of these. I mean, I can level up the Snubbull. I just haven't really felt the need to. But I'll get it up to 14. And maybe we'll hit 15 along the way, using it in either an event or something that comes up. Or if I actually manage to get all the other Pokemon I need, I will then unlock the Snubbull and throw tarts at it. There's not really any reason to not be leveling them up, except for needing to make sure you reserve the resources for your other Pokemon. I'm just afraid I'm gonna run into some cool, legendary Pokemon and then not have the resources to level it up. I think for this one, Scorbunny is definitely going to be more important. Snubbull being able to clear the, Whip Cream immediately is good. However, moving things like tomatoes and milk around is definitely the worst part of the game, or the most difficult thing in the typical playthroughs. So let's just do this. Try to activate a bunch of the whipped cream makers, and we'll weaken as much of the whipped cream as we can, and we'll focus on using our skill to remove the whipped cream from the map. I don't know if there's a way I can kind of loop them and get more of them onto the bottom together. That way I'm able to use fewer skill activations to clear everything out. As you can see, I kind of managed to group a ton of them here down this line. So then, one skill activation, a single turn, removes a lot of them. And then maybe if I combine the up and down megaphone, I'll be able to hit the other two. Then I just need 1,000 points. And we are good to go. And we get 4 turns for the 3-star. I will start by removing the item our character struggles with. Then we'll grab the tomato, grab the milk, and transfer them over to here. And the tomato should fall in completely fine. And now all we need is plenty of points, which Jigglypuff is going to give us. 45,000 out of the 5,000 needed. Scrolling up in the chat a little bit, Jagger mentions other hacks use pre-existing items to make the trait evolutions. I just need to learn how to actually do it. Like, turning a metal coat into something that works the same way as a Thunderstone is a great solution, as long as I remember to make the metal coat also available, instead of being a 5% farm on the Magnemites, as I don't think that is a particularly fun way to do it. Actually, okay, no, I lied. Tomatoes are not the worst one, because we have gimmicks that can deal with it. Over in this Ogerpon event. I'm not actually going to play it, but this gimmick. The condensed milk. Basically, it is like the honey. Or those dark orange things. I think it's caramel. Where they spread. Except these ones require 2 hits in order to clear. So, you use your Pokemon, you hit it, it breaks in half, but then it spreads and forms a newly formed one. So it is literally impossible to clear these if you don't have a matching Pokemon with the gimmick, or they are all neatly bundled up for a skill or megaphone. Because even if they have two things of milk on opposite sides of the board, and if you use a skill and remove one from the board, the other one then multiplies. And it is pretty frustrating. Alright, so everything here is shooting upwards, so we definitely want to use Pikachu as it has the ability to, with its skill, to clear gimmicks above it. Pikachu is an olive user, so we want to focus on freeing the olives, as that's the one we'd actually be able to do ourselves. But the pumpkins also are worth getting out of there. Alright, unfortunately, Pikachu's level only allows me to do 4 of them at a time. So then, I'd really like to hit all 4 of these pumpkins, and moving down, let me do it, as the cone extended outwards. Okay, let's grab our Munchlax, gain some points, and then time for another skill activation, but we just barely miss on the other 2 acorns. I can try the megaphone, but it's going to require some finesse. As you can see, I wasn't able to get the other chestnut down in time. So then I'm forced to use a skill to clear it. And we move on with 1 turn fewer than I think we probably could have gotten away with. Let's bring in Pikachu. Pikachu only clears 4 of them, but that is pretty significant progress. Then our skill removes the first half of the pumpkins. We are comboing up the Munchlaxes to try to earn another skill. And then we have 2 turns left. As long as we hit the 2 pumpkins here, all that's left is 1 olive. And we can catch it up in the corner. So that gives us another 3-star clear. Unfortunately, Pikachu already at enough cookies to have its level cap raised. I actually don't know how many of these orders are in the game. I know if we go to past orders, we're able to see our previously played events, and it's how you basically can go backward, something like in Overcooked, where you're able to go and try to 3-star the levels you didn't clear the first time. Oh, welcome, Sarah and Sadako Gaming. I hope you all are having a good day. Alright, so I'm looking at this, and there are apparently a ton of orders. I did not realize there were this many in the game. I thought 300 meant I was getting close. But there are apparently 2,400 of these to go. But that isn't even all. If we go to the extra orders, there are also all of the orders from the original game, which appears to be 1,200 more. So that is 3,600 levels to clear. And all of them cost stamina. So it is quite a while until I'm going to be able to unlock those outfits for Charmander and Lucario, as I want to clear the main game before going back to the previous one. And if you don't know what I mean by that, we are currently playing Pokemon Café ReMix, and it has that title because the game initially started as Pokemon Café Mix before turning into a gacha game. It was initially just a casual, still very much mobile game design, but the main difference, I'd say, is that you only lost a stamina if you lost a level. So you were definitely able to play a lot more. I don't think this is going very well. I don't have a pumpkin ability. So I'm basically stuck, unable to clear any of this. I'll try to push the pumpkins closer together so my skill activation is able to do it. And there we go. I somehow managed to scrape by. A 1-star order on the final turn. And then we are out of stamina once more. But I have plenty in the shop I'm able to claim. And for anyone wondering, why am I only claiming 3 at a time instead of the full 5? There is actually another mechanic in the game called the Happy Bonus, where after you finish an order, there is a random chance that the game will give you a 15-minute timed bonus to hearts received when clearing a level. However, in true mobile game fashion, this is dependent on how much stamina you have remaining. And if it is lower, it is a higher chance to occur in order to entice you to purchase additional stamina with real money. So I'm mostly looking for something that can clear the marshmallows. Looks like Starly might be my best bet. Or Mew. Is there anything else spooky in here? My plan is to use the Mew effect on the chestnuts, so this should be fine. But they are suggesting Slurpuff, I guess because it's able to aim upwards. But chestnut coverage seems not very useful to me here. So I think I am going to go with Mew. And see if I'm able to make it work. I agree, Starly looks great. 800 of these are super cute. And I thought I was getting into a pretty casual, simple puzzle game when I downloaded it. But some of these levels are actually a lot harder than I thought. And on top of that, the game is not super friendly to new players with their events. And the reason I say that is because it's a lot harder to get the proper coverage for all of the gimmicks in the events. They have rewards that are based on scoring a certain amount. So if you aren't able to pull the appropriate monster on the gacha, a new player has basically no shot of getting the reward. I really need to get another one of those. But then I only have one move. So I'm also going to need to do some corralling. And I just barely missed the chestnut. So I am not going to spend 900 acorns to clear it. Order is failed. Retrying also costs a stamina. This time I am just going to give it a shot with Slurpuff, since that is the one the game recommended. And then they can prove how much more they know than I do. Let's start with Pikachu to clear out what we can, and then open up the chestnuts. And as you can see, we are actually making significantly better progress here. Still going to need this, I think, to clear out those popcorn kernels. But now, oh, I misclicked. I was aiming for the Slurpuff, but I hit a Pikachu. So, -1 move as I cleared this acorn. But I am definitely making significantly better progress here. Let's use a combined skill to make sure we're able to clear all 4 of the popcorn kernels at once. And then we clear out 2 of the chestnuts, and hopefully Slurpuff is going to be able to clear the other 2 on the next attempt. Unfortunately, like Cosmog, Slurpuff is a pretty light Pokemon, and that makes it pretty difficult to get it where you want it to go. So I'm just going to use the skill and finish off the level there. From a failed level to a 3-star culinary masterpiece. I believe Executor was at 7 cookies. So let's go find it in here. I really dislike that they constantly reset the sort over to date joined, when something like level or specialty would make much more sense. I'm gonna go like this. Executor, the final 20, I will find somewhere. I mean, I've already used Executor on a few orders. Oh, and it's actually quite good at chocolate now. So I can definitely see it coming in handy in the future as we go through stages and find them. I need to make sure I still have some stamina, and I do. So let's go ahead and give Starly a drink here. Something with gummy. Seems like it would be pretty important, but the game is suggesting I just go for the Celebi. Now, I believe Celebi has a hidden mechanic where I'm able to start with an extra turn, but I could be wrong. I feel like, oh, and you can see it went from 13 to 14. I don't know where on the page it actually says that. It's just something I noticed by playing with Celebi. Now I want to try to clear out the marshmallows whenever I can. And then let's see how well this does. Oh, very poorly. I do not like that skill. Being completely randomized is a terrible choice for actually trying to get these annoying gimmicks out of the way. Especially something like a gummy, where we have no other way to do it apart from our skills and megaphones. As you can see, I completely missed. And then even after I clear it, it is still closed. So now we are simply hoping to hit the right direction. And we miss. So we have to clear that. And we have to spend a turn clearing this as well. And then it closes. So we have to waste a turn on that, waiting for it to open. And then we're finally able to move on. I definitely needed something with a gummy specialty there. But we did manage to score a ton of points, so I will take a 2-star order. I'm not even sure if I have anyone with good options for that. Lacking tomatoes sounds bad. But we'll trust the game's judgment and go with Squirtle. I mean, 45 veggies is a lot to ask for. We just need to somehow push the tomatoes over to the right side. As long as we are consistently making a little bit of progress towards pushing them to the basket each turn. I think it'll turn out okay. And then let's move this and hit all of these at once to gain a ton of those. And then that should do it. But we still need a ton of points, actually. So we aren't out of the woods just yet. A 40 link, though, is going to get us 5 turns in the 3-star challenge. And we can clear out a lot of vegetables this way. And then Squirtle can help us clear the popcorns. Oh, but I missed. So we have to do it again. Not a huge deal, as long as we are able to get the points in the next few turns. But once again, Eevee coming in with a big 40 combo to crush the score goal. And that is 3 Autono cookies. Oh, but we are out of stamina here. So we go back into the shop. And we'll grab another 2 or 3. With there being 2,400 orders to get through, I don't know what an appropriate amount for the stream even would be. Now there is a really interesting piece on the stage right here, where Executor skill would fit pretty nicely. But I think I'm gonna go with Eevee. And see if I regret it or not. Being able to clear the other 2 gimmicks a lot easier seems like it should be worth it, as then I'll be able to spend a lot of time focusing on the kernels once these go down a little. And the thing about them all being at the bottom means I can kind of line them up like this. And as long as I don't mess it up this time, we'll be able to clear a ton. But then the ones that reset are rather annoying. Okay. So I think we then go here. And then go here. And then Eevee will be able to finish out the whipped cream. No problem, giving us 3 turns left. And hopefully the extended Eevee skill here will be good enough. That was not a ton of popcorn getting out of the way. Then we only get 1 turn to somehow try to get all 4 of these into the skills range. But Eevee does it with no turns left. On the final move, Executor is served. Oh, though, I did just realize I am trying to level up the Executor. So when given the chance, I probably really should be using it. Yeah, this level looks pretty good for Latios. Latios' skill is huge, so it should be able to deal with the chocolate bars, no problem. We can grab Latios, come down here, clear some of the acorns. Let's use Blossom to clear out the rest of the ice. And then Latios again to clear more acorns. And then do it one more time, getting us pretty low. And now we have a second skill, so we can increase the range and shoot. That did not do as much as I thought it would. But if we combine 4 of these, that's progress. 3 turns is fewer than I was expecting, but we might be able to do it. Let's grab Blossom. and use it to link through all of this. Then with Latios' skill, we come here. But with one more turn, we would have actually been in a pretty good spot. I would have been able to do that better and get a second star, but I stopped paying attention and didn't realize we were out of time. They mentioned having an olive oil specialty, but obviously it's better if we can clear them with Pikachu and not need to activate the oil at all. So I don't know why Bulbasaur was the suggested Pokemon. Maybe it was the positioning of the skill. Clearing plenty of those. And then coming down here. And then Pikachu looping around into the olives. Though I did clear fewer of these camera blocks than I was hoping. Okay, everything is lined up in there. As long as I manage to get the Pikachus safely in without pushing them too far away, we are able to clear the rest of the challenge and move on to the 3-star performance. As we will start with this, see how it goes. Not very well, all things considered. 2 moves remain. So we definitely need to clear out the olive oil on this. And that gives us 1 turn to try to kind of loop both of these in and clear that. And we miss by a single block of caramel. Unfortunate. All it does is add more levels I'm gonna have to replay in the future. Customer Pokemon. Okay, so we are out of stamina. I guess I should triple check that playing the extra orders does count. And requires stamina. It does. And you only get rewards every 25 stamina you spend in that area. Or if you manage to clear several hundred orders, then you sometimes get extra rewards. Seems pretty difficult to have the resources to do all of that in a game that limits you to 5 max stamina at a time. Let's keep up the orders, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and go with the Score Bunny, as these movement gimmicks can be pretty annoying. But I don't even see any of the milk. They must be hiding in the mayonnaise blocks. Alright, so some of them are freed now. We will start by clearing out some of the chestnuts. And then use Chansey to try to clear the rest of these. Okay, so we actually managed to hit, which is great. We can move all of that around, get another skill activation. But we also have 3 megaphones all ready to go. So we combine them, clear out the chestnut. And we're moving on with 10 turns left. Clearing this is going to open up our milk bottle. So we just bring it in, and all we need to do now is score 30,000, which we do with 5 moves left. Some of these are definitely a lot easier than others. But I am okay with that. I'm glad it isn't just a steady slope upwards, where you spend 500 orders basically unable to lose, and then 500 orders being impossible to win. Alright, so we are now on a pretty interesting one. Mew is able to move the tomatoes and also able to cut the pumpkins. So we're going to be focusing a lot on Mew here. Unfortunately, Ogerpon is taking up all of the board now. And Mew is a lightweight, so we are going to be pushing it down a little bit. Rotating the Ogerpon out allows the tomatoes to fall in. And then, unfortunately, even with Mew's skill, we aren't able to clear a pumpkin in one hit. It requires 2. But we're able to clear it here. And then link a bunch of these together to unlock this. And then link a bunch of Mews together to unlock the second skill, which we use to combine and clear the fruit cans. It only leaves us with 3 turns left, but Mew's stacked ability almost always gives you another half ability in the bag. However, with only 2 turns left, I am not sure how we are supposed to be getting all of these cans cleared. I tried to go in, but was only able to get 3 of them. And there's no way this microphone or megaphone is going to be big enough. So unfortunately, we're going for the score and are a turn or 2 away from a 3-star presentation. We get 2 milestone cookies for our troubles. And we have 1 more stamina. You know what? We're gonna go into the extra orders, and we're gonna set Executor as he needs those 20 experience points. I imagine order number 2 is going to be exceptionally easy. All we need to do is activate its skill. So link all of these together. We get the skill out, and then Executor finishes it up. As you can see, going significantly backwards by 300 orders does help a lot. Let's go ahead and claim a couple of stamina shards. But the issue with the past orders is that we aren't earning any of the cookies that we need to do it. Because we aren't serving any of the customers. So the rewards in this mode are definitely significantly worse than they are in the regular cafe. Obviously not going to be any problem at all to clear these super early levels. All we need to do is activate a megaphone, and as long as this gives us the experience points though, Executor would be level 15 now, but you don't even get the measly 10 experience points. It is feeling a lot like a scam to do the extra orders. So, order 319, even when we're only getting the milestone cookies, it is at least giving us the chance to work towards finding the new Pokemon like Gengar. Though I guess it is a bit of a tough sell. Would I actually be able to get it faster than the 100 orders it takes to get the Charmander? I am not sure. So we see gummies again. does anybody here have a gummy specialty? We have a few. I think that is probably the most important one, as the rest of them can be just kind of cleared away with skills. So I'm going to ignore their suggestion. Well, I don't know. The last time I did that, it did not go very well for me. So while I do think Statland might be the better option here, I'm going to play it safe with the Togepi. And we'll start off with Sneasel, trying just to clear out some of these honey blocks. Alright, and then we have Togepi's skill, which can be activated to get rid of some of the gummies. And we get a ton of Mincino, so we are going to be able to link them together. And we have another block. And more gummies have been cleared. And my Sneasel got stuck. But a last minute unsticking lets it perform. And we're down to just one more piece of honey. Or I suppose, two of them. We're going to try doing a bit of a combo, but unfortunately the skill moves upwards and does not get triggered by our megaphone. All that's left is a 25 combo. So at least we didn't fail the order. 2 moves is probably not going to be enough time for our for everything that it wants us to do here. Maybe, if we're lucky, we will get a 2-star by clearing out all of these. But the answer is no to that as well. I can see we could have used our skill to clear out the 2 sugar cubes. So I'd say we were probably 2, maybe 3 moves away from finishing it. And unfortunately, it is as if the game knows I am trying to trigger a happy bonus. And it is not giving me the opportunity to earn the cookies. We're also barely even getting, getting the Pokemon we need to recruit. Instead, just earning milestone cookies and getting nothing to reward our time. We're going to try to trigger as many of these popcorn kernels, etc. as possible. Pikachu is able to deal with the olive oil slowly. Let's try Pikachu's Thunderbolt. Clearing some of the olives. Oh, but then we get the olive oil on it. Right. And that becomes a problem. If we lock, other things we need to clear behind it. The rest of these, though, not an issue. We will use the megaphone to clear the popcorn. And again, 1 star, I think, is just what we're going to have to accept here. We can try to clear as many of these as we can, but getting all 9 of them is simply not going to happen in the amount of turns we've been given. As you can see, I missed just 1. And that'll be a 1-star order. But clearing out some of that olive oil may have made some progress on the cooking challenge for sweet tarts, and if he's unlocked the new stylish olive coloring on board number 3, trying to get Pikachu. Honey, excellent combos, and using the Pikachu as our leader. Hopefully all things we are going to be able to do. I see Executor recommended. We are going to pick it. Because we want the experience points, even if it may not secretly be the best. Alright, so we clear some popcorn out, get some more Executors. And then let's bring this down, clear out those kernels. And then I see they do start moving around. So I still don't quite know where all these go or come from. But we will take the progress. Executor skill will remove these. And then can the megaphone even reach? Just barely. The milk. Wait. They all just kind of looped around endlessly instead of connecting to each other. And now I missed the Executor in there as well. Things are suddenly going very wrong. I think I'm too stupid for this one. What am I supposed to have done? I will try it again, I guess. But even having the milk wouldn't have helped me there. We will retry. So, starting off with Executor, clearing the popcorn kernels. And we're up towards clearing some of this. We see popcorn kernels in these two, so we're going to clear them. And then both of them are there. So I think the ones from in here ended up over there. But since they're always going, they just never actually make it to getting on top of each other. So what am I supposed to do? I guess let's start by clearing those, and then using a megaphone down. That'll let something go into there. But that is not the one we wanted. Okay. We also do need to clear this popcorn kernel, so we get rid of that. Where did those go? Nowhere useful. And then we have failed again. I think we might be giving up on this order. Because I simply don't get it. I mean, I will try one more time. But they just were looping infinitely on each other. Maybe I need to specifically not clear the ones on the bottom yet. That way nothing goes into it. So I want to clear these two. Okay. And then what? This is where I got stuck last time as well. Let's clear that. And then there's something stuck here. But if I just move this. Okay. That is progress. Now, all we need to do is make something that's able to reach over there. Like a megaphone or a skill. We're hoping for a downwards facing megaphone. That is the wrong direction. And I am pretty confident the executor skill does not reach over to the right side. Or far enough to the left, I mean. Though maybe a combined skill will give us the extra reach we need. Okay. So we finally managed to lock into a solution here. Onto the 5-star challenge. Which is looking incredibly devious. But perhaps is scarier than it seemed. A quick combined skill. Once we get through the pretty unfair level design, we are able to keep on going. So we will keep it up and serve this Stoutland. I mean, Starly seems as good as anyone else, so we'll go for it. All we need is one touch to clear the ice. And then Starly can come in and do it as well. Then Starly's own skill, also fairly useful here. But we will save it for now, since it doesn't seem very necessary. And we can claim a ton of things this way. But now, here's where Starly is going to come in handy. Look at all those megaphones, activated all at once. 7 turns, as we head into the 3-star challenge. Possibly for the first time in this stream. We'll grab Starly again, and work on clearing some of those. Then, let's do a combined skill, and clear out these, before getting a bunch of megaphones, which unfortunately all with the targets. But one more loop of Starly, able to get us there, and then Ogerpon getting us a ton of the way towards the score limit. The next set of Starly will clear out the sugar cubes, and there we go. We were cutting it close, but we managed to get a 3-star order. Oh, and that is the end of our Goldengo. 1,000 acorns attained. Apparently some people who have been playing longer are much further along and have up to at least 2 of the Goldengo or 1 of the outfit levels unlocked, plus grabbing the base Goldengo. Unfortunately, we started much more recently than that, so we don't have that luxury. Let's just grab a couple more stamina and see if we are able to keep on going. Once again, it's just going to be milestone cookies. Alright, so Mew is able to deal with a lot of the gimmicks here. But before we can get to that, we are going to need to clear out the honey. So there we go. Let's bring Mew into these tomatoes. Clear out some of those. And hopefully the tomatoes will just kind of naturally fall into the area they need to go. Alright, and unfortunately, a bunch of other items continue to make their way to block the tomatoes. But we are able to bring Mew in. Slowly but surely, clearing out some of the marshmallows. And 4 moves left for the 3-star challenge. We're gonna use Mew to grab the tomato, and then clear as many of the marshmallows as we can. Then we do it again, this time focusing on the marshmallows. As if we move the special skill out of the way, then combine, this is going to be a ton of points. 81,000 and an easy 3-star finish. And then we get another chance to raise Stoutland's level. This is an interesting one, but I think Lucario might be the right call here over the Sobble. As if we're able to just, remove the chocolates in the way, then getting to the relevant, matching becomes a lot easier. Okay, so this batch of Lucario, we'll clear down here, and then we move those together with the Pancham. Is this able to reach far enough that way? Maybe, but I messed it up. Okay. Fair enough, but now they roll down, and Chansey pushes them over. And I'm only going to be able to get a 1-star, but I think I can do it. Just barely. I'm able to maneuver them without a milk-carrying member of the squad. Unfortunately, had I actually done it correctly, we would be pretty close to boosting the Stoutland's level. This time, I will just trust what the game says and pick Curlia. And then we've been streaming for a little bit under 2 hours. So we'll probably finish up these last few stamina from the event. And then, well, I suppose we wouldn't be able to do anything once we finish all those stamina anyway. So probably 20-30 minutes left in the stream. absolute ton of whipped cream going everywhere. But with a combined skill, we should hopefully be able to hit a lot of them at once. And then Curlier can come in here and clear out the pumpkin alongside that. Opening in Squirtle next. Trying to finish off the vegetables, and we get 5 turns to try clearing out the rest of the level. And this might honestly be doable. Putting in the special skill, clearing out all the other gimmicks, and then we get 3 turns just to try to get more vegetables. We missed by 1, but Curlia will finish the job with 1 move left. I will say I've never this stream, I have not had many turns left on any of them. They really know how to make me cut it close. I'm thinking the past orders, or the extra orders, are at least a little bit easier. So I might go for them for a little bit. Just to wind down the stream. Alright, and to score a 50,000, we get 12 moves to do it. Let's start off by linking 30 EVs together for 49,290. We almost cleared it in a single move. As you can see, much, much easier, going all the way back to the beginning of the game. There basically weren't even, or there actually weren't any gimmicks at all in the starting levels. Whereas I think in the rework game, in ReMix, I was at least getting basic ones, almost immediately. So we need 3 10 links. And they give us 3 different Pokemon with plenty of icons on the board. 3 turns, and the order is complete. Alright, and order number 6, it's finally time for our first gimmick introduction, the Sugar Cube. But of course, this is going to be a 1-turn combo. These ones are almost too easy. So I suppose after this short distraction, we will head back over to the main orders, even if progress feels very meaningless on both of these, knowing there are literally thousands of orders to do. Looks like we've got 2 more exchanges to go. Very, very close to finishing out all the stamina we earned from that event. I mean, I feel like Mew seems like a good choice here. Able to deal with 2 of the main gimmicks. But why would they recommend Chimchar instead? Let's go ahead and try finding out for ourselves. I believe Chimchar is able to clear these wrapping papers. If I can actually get more than one of them at a time. But that didn't seem to really contain anything noteworthy either. A locked megaphone. I think the game was actually trolling us. These aren't even megaphones facing useful directions. Alright, so at least that is cleared now. And we can bring in Chimchar's skill on these. And then we can miss. Yeah, this is actually awful. Why would they suggest this? We will be using Mew instead. Like, if Chimchar had the mayonnaise, then it would at least make some amount of sense. But without it, it is really not doing much of anything for us. Okay. We are at least finally starting to get into the mayonnaise. Though not particularly successfully. Alright, all three of them are out now. So it is time to focus on comboing the pumpkins away. Fortunately, this is actually something Mew can help with. So we need a 25 combo. I'm thinking there are probably a good deal of Lucarios on the board. And I miss the other two. But now there are a bunch of Victinis, and it's no problem at all to hit 25 of them. 4 moves left. Will we be able to do it? We need to grab as many Mews as possible, and then clear as many of those as possible. 2 marshmallows. And 1 Mew. Anything we do, as long as we're able to reach the marshmallow, will get us the 3-star. I should have trusted my gut on this one. Basically losing a stamina because the game gave a terrible suggestion. But now we are going to move on to the next order. And it looks like the chocolate is probably the most important part. That way we can kind of guide the tomatoes to where they need to go. Otherwise, I think it would just take way too many turns to successfully clear any of this. So we are going to go with the Whimsicott. But Whimsicott getting stuck immediately on Greninja, showing why it is not very good. Alright, clearing those out. Then we work on it a little bit more here. Whimsicott clear. Oh, and I accidentally cleared it too much. Okay, this actually isn't that bad. We just need to bump the tomatoes gently up and over. Kind of like playing a round of soccer. Actually not too bad. Finishing out the sugar cube, and we only have 2 moves. But we might actually be able to do it. First move, clearing all of the gimmicks apart from the tomatoes. Then, Whimsicott needs to push these tomatoes in. And that Greninja needs to just not land under the tomato. And we would have done it. Very, very close to the 3-star order. But we have 2 stamina shards left. Let's get into our final games of the day. I might go play some Duel Links afterwards. Maybe try to get that really, really last minute King of Games. I feel like there's probably not going to be enough time for that at this point. Since the rank resets are in just a few hours. But I will give it a shot anyway. Bring in the Bulbasaur, clear out what we can. I was kind of hoping it was only going to be Bulbasaurs on the level. That would make this a little bit more doable. Hopefully the mayonnaise is at least fully cleared by this. Okay, and it is. So we're able to loop kind of around, grab some Minoon. But without the popcorn specialty, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. We are running low on turns. And we don't even know where all the items that we need are. I think they are just kind of stuck in there. I don't see a way to get them all out in time. So that's going to be a loss for Bulbasaur. We can try Squirtle next. And see if it has anything better to do. Being able to clear the popcorn a little bit faster might be all we really need. And Squirtle's water gun is going to be much better at actually getting rid of the mayonnaise as well. Though Squirtle is not clearing as many popcorn kernels as I would like to see. I think it's only 4 per move. So maybe I needed a higher level Squirtle to properly do the job. Just 1 kernel left is a decent start. Okay, this is doable. I'm not sure if we'll get the score on that one, but our next move will definitely get us into the dish up portion of this. We will bring all these Squirtles together. Then for some reason not be allowed to push them together. Get the extended range on the water gun. And it's very clear design for that. We get 1 move, and all we need to do is hit these 2 remaining things. And we've done it. Oshawott gets a 3-star Doug Trio sandwich. We gain 3 of our coins. And then we are out of stamina. And we've redeemed everything from the event. Which means we are gonna go ahead and launch Duel Links. See how this goes for us. So Duel Links. Where is that one? Alright, and I should zoom in. No, that feels a little off. I think that looks about right. Oh, and Duel Links is apparently... Oh wait, yeah, I have the third cut off that is usually irrelevant. You can tell it's been a while since focused Duel Links streaming. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm several days behind on this promotion. Alright, various events are starting or ending. Mini box came out at some point. I'm not unlocking Dumon. I will claim the 500 gems from the box release though. Yeah, Paco, I have not been grinding gems. At all. I mean, if the next box is a super mini, then it only costs like 5,000 or 7,500 gems anyway. But yeah, I'm really not that concerned. I can technically grind for them if some kind of really cool deck comes out that I feel I need to build. However, I am kind of thinking, recently we've gotten decks like Perfumage and Fluffle in Duel Links. Over on the speed side, I had considered whether or not I should make a new account just to be able to play those decks. In the sense that if I'm getting bored of Rush, maybe Speed is worth a shot. We reset Runner and unfortunately lose a Hydron. So, Ragnarok. I do want to draw a high-level monster next turn. So I will keep the money on top of the deck. The reason I'm summoning the Hydron here is just to kind of force them to draw a high-level monster. I mean, they do have 2 cards in hand, so they are going to be able to bring out a boss relatively easily. However, it's possible this is a Magnum deck, and those are not going to be high-level monsters. We see a Sanctity, which is able to lower their own life points for the Overlord. But then, unfortunately, the debuff makes it much easier for them to clear out my board. If the slime was a recital, we'd be in a much better position here. But unfortunately, we are taking a ton of damage. And I think we are going to lose to the Magnum play as we are at 2,000 life points. And slime does not really work on them. And maybe we Femtron and just mill into the rest of the maximum. But that is not the case. I will go ahead and add the headpiece anyway. Maybe the Reset Runner will find it. Just because I think it would be fun to summon. Activating the skill. I'm going to put back this top of the deck, and then we're just going to go for our double boss turn. We can't really do much about this, but we are able to survive as long as they don't explicitly summon Magnum Overlord, as we do have access to a buffered slime. As much as I want to put back both Chaos Femtron, I do feel like recycling a Attribute is kind of mandatory to make sure I draw into a playable boss next turn. Let's go ahead and remove the Seven Sword Magician. Or what I'm saying is if I put back all the Chaos Femtrons, but I don't have any boss monsters in my deck, there is nothing good for them to hit for me. We are already down 2 money, and we would have been down 2 Attribute had I not put it back. We kind of somehow blew through all of our good cards without being able to do anything with them. We see Light Sorcerer Sanctity and a Saracen Magician, so they are definitely going for a lethal push here. Fortunately for us, we have Buffered Slime to survive the turn. And then we also have a Monster Reincarnation to maybe get us somewhere here. I mean, a full maximum seems useful, but is that even optimal? If we summon out the 2 low levels, and then switch for an Attitude Hydron and a Bellstar Gomani, we would be able to swing over a bunch of low level monsters and maybe win the game. So I'm going to just normal summon them and see if it works or not. Activate Reincarnation. Return Yggdrago. Grab the Hydron. Then the Hydron is able to draw us a card. But if we don't draw a low level, we are going to be in trouble. The thing is, I kind of want to debuff one of their monsters with my skill. Because 1,000, 2,000, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 3,000. 3,200 plus 600 is just barely not enough. So, how do I play it? I have to go Maximum Ragnarok, return Acceleration to the bottom of the deck, debuff one of mine, and one of theirs. Then Attitude Hydron, mill, and then draw a low level. Unfortunately, we draw another Particle Acceleration. That is not going to be enough. But you can see that was 2,900 plus 1,000 is 3,900 plus the 600 debuff would have been 4,500. So we had lethal, had to be drawn any of our low level monsters off of Attitude Hydron there. I think it was our best chance to win. Alright, and we are up first against an Asana with an Archive skill. I don't really like the set 3 pass, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the Mani, I think. Activate Ragnarok. We will put the Yggdrago, bottom of the deck, select you, and this just kind of lets us reset our hand, instead of having 2 high-level monsters already in it. I should probably change, the Twitch info, as we are no longer playing Café ReMix. Obviously, there is a chance we aren't going to make it over to King of Games. But we are going to do what we can here. Alright, we've drawn plenty of options. I am going to go ahead and activate the Reset Runner to mill another card to potentially buff the Attitude Hydron. Unfortunately, we lose a Particle Acceleration against an opponent that already has 3 back row. Let's just keep milling, and then we lose a Chaos Femtron. Very natural. Let's go ahead and enter the battle phase. We know this is a level 4 lower monster, so it shouldn't be able to stop the Connector Dog's attack. But we are going to run right into the negate attack, unfortunately. Oh, and welcome, Stanford. I'm glad you like the new hairstyle. Have I heard about the EU Championships for Duel Links? Assuming you mean the Challenger Cups. They did run some of those when the game released. I have been waiting for them to do North American ones the entire time. But they never showed up. I was even thinking, there are not very many people that make English Rush Duel Links videos. So I was hoping if they did American ones, that I might actually somehow weasel my way into hosting one. But obviously that never came to fruition. But now that I think about it, when Clausulus made the RDL server, I feel like he had mentioned having contacts with Konami. So I really need to follow up on that. But again, if it's an EU thing, I'm not going to be able to do it. Alright, we draw 2 Yggdrago pieces. And maybe Chaos Tron can luck us into the 3rd. We do find a monster, but unfortunately not the right one. It probably wasn't even worth adding to my hand, but if I monster reincarnation, I am able to ditch the excess piece and return the Attitude Hydron that I previously discarded, or that was destroyed, to my hand. Then Attitude Hydron comes down. And remember, they are not going to have access to negate attack anymore. We could still get hit by a buffered slime. But that is okay, as we'd still be getting in for a pretty decent amount of damage. Activate Money. Go for the extra 900. We're just going to return the Chaos Femtrons. And then we do want to play around a Music Princess, so Conductor Dog is swinging in first. And we receive no pushback, so Blue Eyes will fall to the Hydron. Cyber's doing what it is supposed to be doing. Though it is the final hours of the month, so the opponents here presumably should, on average, not be very strong. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to do it. There are very few hours left to go. Desmond says, I believe the guys are in some form contacted by Konami, which the prizes would be more OCG-esque for Rush. Oh wait, so not OCG products, but a similar pricing structure to what they do over in the over in Japan. But I actually don't know what is the difference. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments famously do not have cash prizes. But I'm guessing it is more than the hoodies that Aurora has been trying to win. Also, I don't know if there's a way for me to change the stream title over on YouTube, because I definitely don't want to be clickbaiting people with the wrong game. Okay. That should be updated. So anyone joining in will know we are done with the Café ReMix part of the stream. Alright, opening with 3 low levels and a recital. This is not that bad if we were going first. As the second player, this is going to give us a pretty bad time when they start tribute summoning their Mirror Innovators. I mean, drawing another trap card is not bad. But but there is no momentum here. Oh, and welcome, JD. I got a lot of positive feedback on the update, so I'm glad I was able to do it. I am still considering a palette swap, but I do think I like how it looks more than I did previously. I mean, I guess I can reset runner, and then if I mill a high level, I would be able to use the reincarnation on it. Unfortunately, maximum. Oh, I actually can also use maximum Ragnarok to debuff my own monster, and this is gonna get a card out of my hand, allowing me to perform a little bit better on the next turn, as long as I don't run into a Magician's Valkyria. Alright, a bunch of 0 defense monsters go down without a hitch, but them not doing anything. Do they have no tribute monsters? Or do they have all 3 parts of their maximum ready to go already? Alright, Bellsectical Monty, debuff, and 7-Zone Magician coming in. Unfortunately, my recital, not going to be much help here. Though if I get the chance to use it, I will. But kind of as expected, they kind of just end on 2 monsters instead, and I'm not really able to capitalize on it. So we are going to be going into our next turn with 1 monster on board, and access to our monster reincarnation to revive our spell Tactical Monty, or potentially maximum summon, depending on what the cards have for us. Generally, I think going for the maximum is incorrect. So, Chaos Entron number 2. And another Bellsectical Monty. Again, we could maximum summon, but generally, we are going to get better results by doing tribute summons. Obviously, if they have Negate Attack or Buffered Slime, we don't get in for any damage. But we are doing what we can. And I suppose here we are actually 1 card off from being able to use the Monster Reincarnation for a 3rd copy of Monty. But this is good enough. Maximum Ragnarok, let's return the Connector Dog into the deck and debuff both of their monsters. Then, with our Monty, we are able to return both of these Chaos Entrons into the deck and debuff the 7-Zone Magician. But not only that, Bellsectical Monty number 2, returning the 3rd copy, and the other Chaos Entron into the deck, with only 14 or 15 cards in the deck and 3 Chaos Entron. We become relatively likely to be able to draw at least one of them. We'll swing in with Bellsectical Monty first, then try to play around a recital. Then Bellsectical Monty number 2 swings in, and unfortunately for us, 300 life points remain. We were 1 card off. And now, the Great Magnum. As a Paco would say. And nothing to stop it. $300 off. I mean, we got the debuff in with both Monty at 900, and we got the Maximum Ragnarok used on both of their monsters as well. I don't think there was any way I was stretching an extra 300 out of this. Realistically, what we would have needed was an Attribute Hydron. But we weren't able to get one of those, so we're gonna have to try something else. I do wonder if I should be just playing machines instead. I obviously have a lot more time on the Cyber stack, but I've clearly been failing to get those 5 in a row. So we will give it a shot with Yuga. I actually have not checked Duel Links meta in a while. I assume machines are going to be the most popular deck, unless it's something like budget Blue Eyes. Yeah, light machines, more than double Cybers. But then there are a ton of decks in that tier 3 range, which is impressive. Oh, I'm glad to see somebody made it, taking games with post-Banless Noodles. I definitely think they are still good enough to do that. And now we're fighting some archive skill, but we lose both Amigal. As we open none of our boss monsters or Essel. Alright, and speaking of Essel, our opponent activates it, but only ends up losing to trap cards. Essel is going to be able to beat over any monster on my side of the board, but so is just about any monster in the game, apart from grass. So they are going to be able to do basically whatever they want. We see they are actually on Harpies, and Hysteric Force is a great way to punish opening double Amigal, a 200 attack point monster sitting on the board with back row, not doing anything. And of course, now we get the high level monsters, but with all of our Amigals in the graveyard, we're going to need to play it a little bit differently. So first, Bicorn can shuffle them into the deck, and then we are moving. Edit the skill Ultimate Bond and use our cheat ability to remove this useless Barrage of Steel and get a new copy of Amigal. Then I could Crafter Drone, but I am able to just do a normal Tribute Summon. Remember, Crafter Drone is an Earth monster, so if I want to use the Bicorn's effect, I need to actually just bring in this monster without Amigal providing any support. Then Buffered Slime should help us survive, as them maximum summoning should be relatively unlikely. We'll boost up Mirror Innovator by returning everything into the deck. And then the Harpy Lady Sisters and the Essel go down. Alright, so leaving a Harpy Lady on the board could be an issue if they bring in a big pet dragon. But in basically any other case, I think getting rid of the Essel, the extra 300 damage, is worth it. As you can see, they are just going for a defense position play. And then our goal in this case is going to be to get a machine into the graveyard to sacrifice or to shuffle back with the Mirror Innovator. And I might as well use the Essel and see what I find. The result's not that relevant though. The goal was simple, and we managed to get this back into the deck, and Almond Wolf provides a decent option to clear out the 1400 defense point Harpy Lady. Tough Striker takes out their final low-level monster, and we pass turn, once again, relatively safe with a Buffered Slime. Maximum summoning as a Harpy player is incredibly unlikely, and with a limit 3 on the middle piece, they are unable to destroy our buffered slime. Unfortunately for us, they do manage to find the maximum monster. So, that is going to be a quick loss. I will give Before Dawn the nice. And then we will try maybe one more run. I am apparently just completely washed and unable to play Duel Links. King of Games is too difficult for me. Clearly, no credentials. Alright, and here we go. David, also in Gold 5, and also playing Yuga. We are up second. I would say I haven't seen Widespread Ruin at all today. I'm pretty sure I am running it. I was gonna comment how not having to get attack is a pretty big detriment, but it's not like we've seen the replacement card either. Yeah, Widespread is indeed in the deck. And for the Harpy player, I actually was also running a Sword and Shield. We haven't seen basically any of our one-ofs. I mean, I suppose the Cyber stack didn't really have it. But okay, this is a Roman player. Oh, I was gonna say, if they were on Psychic, our Shield and Sword and Shield were going to be pretty important pieces of the puzzle. But if they are just a Blue Eyes player, Shield and Sword ends up becoming essentially worthless. We did open up with a Mirror Innovator, which should represent pretty solid damage against a typical turn 1 board. But they are immediately going in with an Essel and confirming they are actually a Harpy player, which is pretty interesting, but also very odd that they just went for 3 attack position monsters. I guess with the Cyber Tech Alligator, it makes a little bit of sense. So I need to draw a low-level monster here. Essel is a great one. I'm gonna pop the Sword and Shield. Whatever my third monster is, will run over the Harpy Lady Sisters. And then Mirror Innovator can deal with the Alligator. So let's start. Shield and Sword. Then Essel. Essel effect. And a special summon. I mean, honestly, just a Faith Bird would be fine. We will steal Faith Bird from their graveyard. Then Amigal comes in, but we aren't going to be able to use Amigal's effect, as they don't summon level 7 or higher monsters. But that is okay. Assault Cannon also requires the machines. So it's a little bit of a rough start for us, but we are still going to make our way through this board one way or another. Who ends up actually needing monster effects when we can just walk over our opponent with powerful spell cards. So they are health, and they've gone through 2 of their bosses already. Obviously, we could have high rolled even more, had our Essel found another boss monster. And attack position Draco the Tiny does make me think they are going to be going for a big dragon here. Or at least 2 regular Harpy Ladies. But no, as expected, it is indeed the Pet Dragon. Boosted up to 2300, and then 3000, with the help of Hysteric Force. However, even with this board, the Faith Bird that I stole with my Essel is going to remain around. And as long as I draw any of my boss monsters, Harpy's Pet Dragon is actually a bit of a trap for them, as I'm able to bring in the Aim Eagle that we previously did not have access to. So let's reveal Tough Striker, return Barrage into the deck, grab the Aim Eagle, and activate the effect. We remove it and Essel from the board for a 3500 Tough Striker. This is already enough to deal with the Harpy's Pet Dragon, but we can go one step further. If we enter the battle phase and swing over the Harpy Lady first, we manage to swing for an additional 300 damage, as the Pet Dragon becomes debuffed. End turn, and with Sword and Shield, our win con is simple. They summon a Harpy Lady Sisters and attempt to swing over the Tough Striker, but then we activate our trap and they take 1600 damage. Realistically, it'd only be 1100. But I think unless they maximum summon again, like Paco says, they could maximum summon and still win the game. Harpy Lady in attack mode. So if I were to activate my trap and lose the Faith Bird, I'd be able to add Shield and Sword to my hand. That doesn't help me. Okay. Oh wait, no, the idea was they would then have an attack position monster on the board that I could swing into. But that's fine. We will play it like a normal person. And they are disconnecting. I'd say maybe it's possible they thought Hysteric Force could boost the vanilla Harpy Lady. Obviously, it is not actually able to do that. But we will take a win for the machines. And we will continue the Ranked Duel Challenge Dams. And extra 90 gems will probably help. I've skipped, I want to say, the last 3 or maybe 4 events in the game. Which is why I don't have very many gems currently. We are up against Cybers. And they are running a 32 card deck. That is relatively interesting. But so is our hand. If I do nothing, I get walked over by Dark Femtrons. But if I set, I think I'm in a bad position too. Still, I do think tribute setting is probably correct. That way, on the 20% chance they don't draw a high-level monster, we would be able to kind of hold them off for a turn. Unfortunately, we see a Femtron, so I'm thinking there is definitely going to be a tribute summon coming up. Both of my back row are bluffs, though the Sword and Shield is quite good. Oh, you know what? They are Ragnarok. There's a really good chance they summon out a 2-boss board, and then we are taking a bunch of damage when otherwise we wouldn't have taken anything at all. I hadn't really thought about that. But they make a mistake and swing in with the Yggdrago first. So we make some progress. So we can shoot and sword them. But it's still not that impressive. Obviously, we're gonna go for it. And I think we actually do get rid of Mirror Innovator here. We draw into the other Mirror Innovator, which is fine. I really would have liked to be able to get the Amigal. But rather than summon our boss, I think it is more important for us to be able to clear the board. Then, on the next turn, if they try to swing in with a, Bell Tactical or something, maybe we will be able to use the Sword and Shield, grab back the trap, grab back the spell, and then sneak in a win. But they could also be going for a full maximum summon here, which represents 4,000 damage. Well, 3,000. Well, 3,800. Alright, but no, they immediately summon the Yggdrago piece. Unfortunately, our character drone is at 0 defense. That is where the Mirror Innovator being on the board would be funnier. Alright, but there's Mani. But as long as they choose to debuff the Crafter drone, as a mistake, we could get a kill in. It requires them being very misplaying, or very unaware of the potential of my trap, as they need to debuff the Crafter drone, and then swing with Mani into the Alvant Wolf instead of with the Hydron. But if both of those things happen, we would be able to use the trap to get a surprise wipe on one of their monsters. However, even if we aren't able to do that, we are going to still be activating it, as adding Shin and Sword back to our hand is a huge boon. And we even have the Barrage of Steel to deal with their face down. As long as we're able to draw low-level monsters, we are fine. And there we have it. Shield and Sword activate. Then Bicorn, and activate the Barrage of Steel. That destroys their face down, and with Widespread gone, the game is over. Why here and not Mani? Sorry, I'm not sure what you're saying. I was saying the Hydron. Oh, why do it on that instead of the other one? The Hydron. Oh, I probably could like saved a 0 defense monster or something. I didn't put that much thought into it because it didn't matter. I think you're saying I could have saved the Crafter drone if it's when the Mani swung in and both of them would be 0, which is fair. Definitely just a misplay on my part, since I figured if I got the spell card, I would be more or less guaranteed to win either way. Alright, so my opponent here is a Roa, and I have very little practice against the Rebel skill. I'm kind of tempted to just bring in the Tough Striker, but then I'm pretty sure the Heavy Metal just immediately kills me. So we're gonna play a little bit slow. From what I can remember, we basically just need to not leave ourselves open to a Doom Metal play. That is the main goal. Unfortunately, their Essel mills 2 boss monsters right out of the gate, so we are going to be in a bit of a bad spot. They are setting some back row, and then let's see what they do with the rest of their hand. 3 cards left. Maybe they didn't actually open a boss of their own, but with the Doom Medal, they are more than good enough to get going. And I mean, they also are a deck still able to run Negate Attack, which is a huge detriment to my odds of winning here. Fortunately for us, they crash into the Essel and are only able to remove a single monster from our board. Our move, we draw Barrage of Steel. So let's flip the Crafter Drone so that we're able to activate it. And we'll just hit this one. Unfortunately, it was just a Spell Trap removal card. Not particularly useful. So next, I will use Ultimate Bond to return the Crafter Drone into the deck. We grab Ameagle, and Ameagle will allow us to summon a big Tough Striker. I'm trying to split my bonuses. So if they're able to stop a single attack, it's not as big of a deal. And remember, I'm only actually able to make this play because I won a 1 in 3 shot of their Essel hitting my Essel. We'll return 2 monsters in the deck. I don't really want the Avant Wolf in there. I'll give up on the extra 400 potential damage for this. Swing into the Doom Medal. Fortunately, the other back row also doesn't appear to be anything of relevance. So, pass it over. Summoning another Doom Medal here would wipe for 1400 plus 25, so 3900, and they'd have 2 extra slots to try to deal 2100. A big Doom Medal could definitely OTK me. And even if they just play it defensively, my Mirror Innovator isn't really going to be able to one-shot them. We see this Shadow Buyer. A Heavy Metal could also be a huge problem. Fortunately, Shadow Buyer is not going to become level 7, so it doesn't work for the Doom Medal here. And that's part of why you cannot put 3 attack position monsters against this deck. They just end up with way too many methods of getting to a level 7 with both Shadow Buyer and Phaser. Alright, so they're actually running a Royal Level Growl. I would say there's a small chance they're actually on Hell Tuning Invasion or something. But no, we do see a Death Doom Requiem, throwing a monster into defense mode, and then letting it be tributed off for a second copy of Growl. Unless I have missed something, this is definitely not the optimal list, but it might be good enough to stop me. We are pretty sure the face down is a bluff, so we are just going to Boltricorn it. That works for me. I, once again, really wish we were able to get to an Ameagle here. For the extra damage. I mean, I can Crafter Drone and get rid of the Bicorn, but I think I'd rather use the Bicorn. No, at this point, I committed the... Yeah, I shouldn't have committed the Boltricorn. I should have just set monsters. Because now I am in a pretty awkward spot, since I'm not actually able to clear out both of those. And I obviously can't leave a bunch of attack position monsters on the board either. So we basically just shuffle back as many monsters as we can. And then we regret not dealing the extra damage previously. End of the battle phase, swing, Though 400 would have made a difference. And Cocktail's correct. Character Drone could have potentially given us one of our Sword and Shield cards. But now things are looking much dicier than they needed to be. I could have had a second set monster, which would have been way better. Though it actually wouldn't have made a difference. All they need to do is normal summon any monster, and I lose. Okay, well, maybe not that one. But that is good enough. I really need to play a little bit better, and I would have won this one no problem. I could have had another set. I would have been win number 4. I think I will do one more game to see if I would have hit King of Games had I thought through my play. Another Roa shows up, and this time they are running an archive skill instead of Rebels, and they're also on a 40 card deck. Both of those things are generally good signs for me. We've also opened with Amigal plus Essel. So if they go for a turn on boss monster, we are able to punish pretty hard. But if they go for the normal set 3, there is still a chance we roll into a Mirror Innovator. I'm thinking they probably aren't going to play anything. At this point, they queued and then had to leave. Let me see what's going on over on Twitch. I think we probably are not going to be finishing our King of Games run. I will just accept that I misplayed and then raid Harrier after this game concludes. And then, of course, we are going to be doing more Duel Links on Friday, hosting the point battle. Paga says, do one more attempt. I mean, I guess. Though, actually, give me 1 second. We can go over here. And then get our Subway Surfers in the background. So take this, grab this one, then go here, and okay, here we go. We are ready to queue for the King of Games run. Steenie and Mew both have pumpkin specialty. And wow, there are a lot of those. I think we need to go with the Steenie, as Mew's third gimmick is pumpkin. So it's only able to do 2 of them at a time. Whereas Steenie is able to clear, I want to say 4 to 6. Assuming it's been appropriately leveled. But yeah, had I just set the Boltricorn, we would have been done with the run. Not really any excuses to be made about it. That is just me being bad at video games. That was an incredibly weak use of Steenie's skill there. Clear out some goop. Grab some pumpkins. Clear more goop. Then bring this over. Clear that. And it is now our move. Okay, so we open an Essel, which is relatively important for our ability to actually get monsters onto the board. We actually go with a high roll and grab a Gold Rush. So Almond Wolf and Mirror Innovator are able to come down. Unfortunately, we did brick on Double Mirror Innovator, but we are able to actually swap it out with Gold Rush here. Send our second Mirror Innovator into the graveyard. Add back an Avant Wolf. Then Mirror Innovator can return the other Mirror Innovator that we discarded into the deck for an attack boost. I did a normal tribute summon, so we don't really have any info on the deck. Could actually be a traditional Sevens Axel Road player. But Magnum is also a pretty good bet here. Alright, let's bring Steenie up to clear as many pumpkins as we can. And then keep it up with even more. Alright, so we see they are indeed on Magnum. Oh, welcome, Mestre Linguica. Hope you are having a good day. We are, starting our next attempt after a terrible misplay prevented us from winning game number 4 of our series. Light Sorcerer is going to be able to clear the board with this Tribute to the Doomed. And they have 1 Magnum Overlord piece in a rotation. Once again, Mirror Innovator is not able to activate our skill to obtain an Amigal from the deck. And we don't have a great way to get over this Light Sorcerer. I think we are simply going to use Essel to try putting some high-level monsters in our graveyard for Mirror Innovator to shuffle away. And it actually works out fantastically. We find Mirror Innovator and 2 Tough Strikers. So Mirror Innovator gains 2100 attack points. Then Avant Wolf and Crafter Drone. Onto the board, we are just going to swing in. This is only 3,000. Like I said, Aim Eagle would have been a lethal. But I will put them down to 1,600 and see if we get hit with a Mirror Innovator or not. Over in Pokemon Land, we are left with 2 turns to try getting all of these things cleared. Obviously, it is not going to happen. I probably should have aimed for this instead, since clearing those would at least get us to the 2nd star. And we somehow managed to do it with a Megaphone. Oh, you can't see the opponent's life points. My bad. They're at 600. But it looks like the opponent is not going to find a lethal line this turn. However, they might have drawn into negate attack here. 600 is very low. And that is going to be good enough. Activate Barrage of Steel to destroy their only face down card. Then Avant Wolf, we could go get the Aim Eagle, but we don't need to. 1,900 and 2,625 makes 6. And exact lethal, beating over the Magnum Overlord. So we are now, once again, on a 2-game win streak. Apparently we get some random normal here. Over limit, special summon a bunch of normal monsters. Interesting. Oh, and as we enter our next battle, we also get Gothorita and the chance to grab its cookies. I think Weasel is being recommended for its ability to clear out those cans very conveniently, as I will give it a shot. They are up first and are on an archive skill. I'm honestly going to assume it is Blue Eyes here. I've also noticed we've gotten a lot of waiting for responses. Just random turn 1 wins being handed to us. Oh, but are they here? They actually do start setting a card. So I wonder how it's going to go. That did not clear as many as I was expecting, but we grab a Barrel Dragon. Essel could get us some interesting plays, and we find a Tough Striker. We will bring in the Aim Eagle, throw this down, and then tribute off for a Mirror Innovator. I think the piercing damage is better than going for the 50-50 on Barrel Dragon, especially since keeping the Barrel Dragon in hand means we'll be able to activate the skill on module, and it says OBS is back. Welcome back, Carrot. We are playing 2 games, but unfortunately, we have disconnected. I'm gonna be right back. I need to go grab a tissue. And we are back after unfortunately losing again. due to the internet going out. Let's see what's going on in this game first. Alright, we finally have drawn Widespread Ruin for the first time. And we managed to find a Barrel Dragon. Let's activate the effect and see if we are able to get the free destruction. And we do. Next up is going to be Surge Bicorn, tributing off 2 monsters for a Mirror Innovator, and finishing with an Assault Cannon. Activate Mirror Innovator, returning Amigal into the deck to make sure we have that skill activation available. Then swing, and swing, and swing. Down to just 400. And the opponent gives us a quick surrender. Once again, we would be on a great win streak, if not for something silly causing us to be in a sudden state of resetting the streak. We are up first, and once again, are opening with a Barrel Dragon. And with 2 boss monsters, I am pretty tempted to go ahead and throw it down. Unfortunately, this is probably going to get us punished. And this is actually Seven's Axel Road, and it seems like a pretty budget build, given the Ancient Turtle Protector. Over in Café ReMix, things are going okay. We managed to clear the order, but we aren't going to get the 3-star challenge at all. Interestingly enough, how do we just summon the Barrel Dragon in attack mode? We would have been fine. This time, Pokémon, I believe, is actually the correct play, as having the extra monster available means we're going to be able to use Ultimate Bond to remove the face down and get a double boss monster, or a double boss board, into play here. Let's mill with Essel to attempt to get more monsters into the graveyard. But unfortunately, with a level 6 instead of a level 7, we are missing out on 2,000 bonus damage from Aim Eagle. However, this is still a relatively strong board, so I'm hoping it goes okay for us. Also a bit of a bummer, but I think we do need to return one of these Aim Eagles into the deck, rather than going for a maximum attack on the Mirror Innovator. End of the battle phase, swing, and swing. Puts them relatively low, though they are going to be able to search out the 7th Magician relatively quickly here. So we see on ReMix, we do have to clear a milk container, but the milk is locked behind a gummy. And I don't think we have a great way to do that. So I'm instead just going to aim for the 2 stars by clearing these cans. Alright, so we draw into a Bicorn, which is actually not that bad. We definitely want to return a bunch of these cards into the deck anyway. Unfortunately, Bitcoin does not work on Barrel Dragon. So we are going to bring in the Tough Striker. I could have gone for the Amigal play, but this makes sense to me as well. Though, I guess this actually loses to Curtain of Sparks. I'm gonna pass. I'm going for a Recovery Force. As long as the opponent doesn't summon a bunch of other additional powerful monsters, we should be okay. Wise Woman can deal with one, and Sword and Shield could theoretically deal with something like a Torna. We see a second 7-Zone Magician, but I don't know why. As they did tribute a 7-Zone Magician to bring out the 7-Zone Magician. We just got through the tutorial on egg baskets. Oh, and we see a magic curtain, which prevents them. Wait, and that prevents me from using the Wise Bit Ruin to destroy this 7-Zone Magician. So if it ends up with more attack points, we would be in a lot of trouble. However, so I would lose, they would lose 600, and I would lose more than that. So I think if we Wise Bit Ruin, we can destroy the actually buffed 7-Zone Magician and survive the turn. I am from the United States. Alright, we get a Mirror Innovator, but they do have 2 trap cards. Amigal, not able to do a ton here. But I can swap out the Crafter Drone for another Amigal to get a bigger boss. Or I can use the Crafter Drone on the Mirror Innovator and try to get to, like, another monster. Assault Cannon is able to debuff the 7-Zone Magician past a Curtain of Sparks. And that seems like it could be useful. And we are now waiting for response. Amigal effect, sending 2 to the grave, bring in Barrel Dragon, and of course we're going to try just destroying it anyway. We whiff, but this is potentially a lethal blow. Curtain of Sparks, not good enough. I'm seeing a lot of blocks to deal with. So we're going to go with Eevee here. Alright, and that is our second game. 3 more. And we might be able to do it. We are looking for additional EVs to get into there. um, bring the skill to clear out the cheese, and then we are able to start farming the eggs a little bit more efficiently. We are up first here. So, not much to do other than set our hand. We did manage to get a full set 5. And these monsters all have decent attack stats. So, our opponent, if they are on harpies, won't be able to do all that much to us. And we managed to get, with 5 moves left, to our second, or into the dish up. Clear out all of the blocks that we are able to, and then combine a skill to clear the olive oils, and then bring Evie in to clear the rest of that. And all we need is 1,000 points. Linking 27 Squirtles is going to be over 30,000. Easily hitting the mark. And it looks like our opponent is actually on Blue Eyes rather than Harpies. This should be an advantageous matchup just because Blue Eyes are not that good. However, if they're able to find the Legend Monster relatively early, we could be in trouble. We have a Crafter Drone, but I don't think we're actually using it. We're probably just gonna be, tribute summoning, and then going for an Amigal. Wait, but I messed up quite badly. That's a huge misplay to counteract their own. I'll head into the battle phase, swing into the Essel, and pass. Obviously, I need to get the Amigal, get rid of the buffered slime, and then bring in the Mirror Innovator to clear it. I don't know what could possibly be distracting me here. There's just nothing I can do about it. As you can tell, I'm very invested in making King of Games. But no, it's absolutely my fault, obviously, that I am struggling here. I mean, we have the Mirror Innovator, but we definitely aren't dealing 4,500 levels of damage. This time, we are going to bring out the Amigal. We will return one of the Mirror Innovators. Well, actually, no, I think we return a Tough Striker. Double Mirror Innovator is going to offer way more damage. Alright, so Amigal and Boltercorn, and those turn into the first Mirror Innovator. Then Bicorn. Bicorn is going to return our lowest level machines into the deck. That's going to be another Mirror Innovator coming down. Treat this as 2 tributes, absolutely. Mirror Innovator shuffling our highest level monsters into the deck. And then we do it again with the other Mirror Innovator, going as high as we possibly can. swing over one of the Blue Eyes, and that leaves them with 2,700, which is exact lethal. Never punished, outplayed, all part of the plan. The duel was rigged from the start. I hired a scriptwriter. Blue Eyes coping. The better player won. I mean, what else can I say? Alright, let's grab some Munchlax to clear through those. And then Go-Go, I should focus a little bit on the eggs. And then Munchlax again, getting us where we need to go with the veggies. And we are fighting an Yggdrago. Max and Ragnarok, the normal skill, for sure. We actually somehow miss entirely with the Munchlax skill. But we are able to get into the dish up right as they end their turn. Unfortunately, there is a decent chance they are going to have a recital here. Croucher Drone is able to get rid of the other drone and give us an Essel, which could be something. I mean, a 1,500 doesn't actually work. I needed to not do that. But it is too late. I needed to obviously bring in the Gold Rush first. That way I'd be able to get the bonus 1,000. But I mean, if they have Recital, it's the same thing. Let's see what they do. They let it go through. Oh, it might be a buffered slime instead. Yeah, Cocktail. Like I said, I am kind of distracted and not that in it. I definitely could have played much better. Oh, I guess even after the Essel, I was still able to activate the skill, huh? Unfortunately, they debuffed me. So, wait, why did the Agitoot not attack? I think I missed something, but we will take it. Bulgercorn, oh, and we drew Shield and Sword. So, we drop that. Bulgercorn is going to turn off the back row. Wait, I had a set monster? Oh, I had an Ameagle. Right. As you can tell, I am very much in it. So we just return these three to grab the Mirror Innovator for 1 tribute. And then Mirror Innovator is able to return our high-level monsters into the deck for a huge swing and attack. End of the battle phase, Mirror Innovator swings over the Hydron, and they are not allowed to use their back row. And Butchercorn is going to finish the game. Another win for the very perfectly crafted and piloted machine deck. There is literally nothing I could be doing better. And the proof is that I won the game. So after 2 consecutive, very incredibly sloppy wins, we are on a King of Games rank up. Maybe I should put down the Pokemon for a minute and see what we are able to do. Phone screen away. And we are second. Oh, we're fighting Cerberus once again. I am 80% sure this is the Blue Eyes player from not too long ago. How rude of them to not simply just give me the rank up. Paco says, keep playing Subway Surfer. I mean, it was the key to my success. And then we can Butchercorn, activate the effect, turn off 1 back row, summon the Almond Wolf after a Barrage of Steel, destroying this one. Tutor of the Doomed is a great card to get rid of here. And then Mirror Innovator onto the board and give it Piercing by returning Amigal into the deck. Put down the Slime Battle, and it is a Soul Drake. 2000 damage, and we've got a boss monster, backed up by a buffered slime. Light Sorcerer Sanctity going to provide a debuff on the Mirror Innovator, and with 2 copies, Mirror Innovator is down to just 1200 attack. But they actually choose not to use the effect before shooting off for a Torna. Torna is able to change the Mirror Innovator into defense mode. But with 1800 defense, Torna wouldn't be able to clear it. Did they misclick? Did they forget to use the effect? Or did they simply decide not to pay the life points as they already had Bright Dragon available? Oh, welcome, Rahita. You are joining us on a King of Games rank-up match. I am running a little bit late on the month. Sword and Shield, unfortunately, not very good in this matchup. I could get rid of it. But I could also just kind of set it face down. I obviously want to get the Amigal. So, is there anything I need to do first? I don't think so. And if that's the case, just having 4 monsters does make sense. Let's activate skill. Ultimate Bond, revealing Tough Striker, sending Shield and Sword back into the deck. Then Amigal and Essel. And Bicorn. Bicorn is able to put back our Mirror Innovator, which could actually be somewhat useful here. As drawing a boss monster is generally pretty key to success. So we're going to use it, returning all of them, and we're going to use Amigal as well, and get rid of the Bicorn, instead of using its effect. It was just to put the monsters from the graveyard into the deck. Then we can summon the other Essel, enter the battle phase, and try swinging. It actually goes through, and our opponent is down to 1,000 life, versus us at 5,400. Our back row is a buffered slime. So as long as they don't pop a Dragon's Inferno, we would be able to win, or we'd be able to survive the turn. However, they didn't activate any trap cards on the previous turn, so they should have plenty of spells hiding face down. Oddly enough, they decided to return Blue Eyes White Dragon into the deck instead of going for a Soul Drake. Obviously it means they probably don't have one, but it is still interesting. Dragon's Inferno is going to remove the buffered slime, and unfortunately, each Bright Dragon is representing 2,000 damage of its own. They have 4 cards in hand. With a huge debuff, a big field could be the end of the game. We see a Dragonite. We see another one. Bright Dragon up to 3,000. What else do they have? There is no back row. If we are able to draw any boss monster, we reach King of Games, as long as we also have the low-level monsters to summon it. We see no high-level monsters, but Shield and Sword, the card we got rid of, can activate its effect. Dragonite is a 0 defense point monster. We summon Alternate Art, Rising Light, Angel Essel, and win the game. Also, our opponent surrendered. There was a possibility we actually bricked, and it didn't have any additional monsters. Okay, Paco, the try you told me to give, actually ended in me disconnecting. But then I decided to keep playing after that anyway. I'll go ahead and post the deck. Grab win number 42, a Rush SR ticket. Cocktail, I don't think I even own the plant deck. To be completely honest. And we can go ahead and look. And Ian, I think the Cyber stack is totally fine as well. But I guess I am a little bit out of it. Paco. Obviously you've been playing in that team league. How have the other decks been holding up? Are Rebels as good as people thought they would be? Is Magnum actually stealing wins with negate attack? Or is it still falling off? Even though the top decks aren't able to run negate attack anymore. And then for Cocktail, Plant. Yeah, so I only own 2 Plandish. I do have 3 of this one, but also only 2 Entrons. That is not how that's pronounced. Oh, Cocktail Samurai is Whoop. But with only 2 copies of both of the boss monsters, unless it's, and only 1 attribute shift beam. I don't think I'm really building anything competent with the plants here. Yeah, Paco, feel free to send me a DM. Obviously, at some point, we need to be making a new tier list. Probably not going to be until the next box comes out, but I should probably know what happened in the team league. Since that is going to be relevant for my knowledge. And I guess to finish off the stream, we managed to hit King of Games. but we will use our final remaining stamina. On one additional order. We see a Dragonite. Oh, and I forgot how zoomed in it is. Probably one more. Okay. Mew is going to struggle a lot with the chocolate bars. But I think we can make it work. With megaphones and the singular skills, rather than the combined one. Okay, and they actually start us off with essentially no Mew icons here. A little suspicious. But okay, now that we have some Mews, we can start working on the pumpkins. And then we can drop this onto a bunch of chocolate. And I guess we just kind of keep going at it. Pop pumpkins with that. Oh, and we definitely failed here. As if we use the Curlia instead, we are able to hit more pumpkins at once, rather than only 2 of them. And then the skill has better reach for clearing the icons. So I guess I can see why they chose Curlia. Let's go ahead, sort by level. And see if there's anybody we are able to raise up a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't think we have the cookies for any of these. So if we go to the menu development, Gotharita, unable to unlock. Audino, unable. Chimchar, definitely not. Maybe the Grookey, though. Grookey is one we are able to level up. I will bring Grookey up to level 14. You know, I feel like there was some dishes where both of those things were in effect, but maybe it wasn't the right specialty for Grookey. But that stalled for a minute or two, and now we are able to go back and try Pleasing Dragonite once again. Okay, let us start with Minoon. Just clearing a few of those marshmallows. Then we bring in Curlia to do work on the pumpkins. Then Curlia's special skill, I misclick and accidentally release it a little bit too early. That one not looking all that great either. But progress is progress. This definitely needs to clear this one. And then hopefully Curlia will be able to finish it on this move. And that is a completed dish. Only 2 moves remain though. So a little bit suspicious. But we are able to get most of what we need. Oh, but we aren't going to get the score requirement. Even though we managed to clear everything out, we are still a move shy. But that is going to be it for us today. We managed to hit King of Games. We finished up our stamina. And thank you all for watching.